Welcome back to DS Trucks. Today we're going to be going for a little bit of a drive here in my F450 that I got parked right here, and the truck is so big that it wouldn't fit on the street. But I'm actually at my wife's new hair salon and I just got my hair cut, and yeah, I'm very excited for her. She got her own place now. She's got her own operation, and pretty soon I'll take you guys inside and show you what, how it looks. It's really nice. She's got a really nice place. But in today's video, we're gonna go for a little bit of a drive, and we are going to be talking about how I got started at Ford and what it was like my first week working at Ford, building these trucks. Now, I wasn't building Super Duties, but I was building F-150s, which is very similar to Super Duties. So anyway, let's set up the camera. I've got a camera up top running as well, and we're gonna talk about what it was like when I first started at Ford. So if you follow the channel, then you know that we've been doing these little talks, and in the last couple videos I talked about being a tire man. What was it like being a tire man? And that was what I was doing right before I started at Ford. So it was rough, guys. It was rough. How do I look though? I repositioned my seat. I was sitting like way too low, and it was like hard to see with the dualies and everything, but I just like sitting low. But I'm actually sitting in the position that I usually sit in when I'm plowing snow, and the truck it's easier to handle this way. I usually want to sit really low though, but it was a hard time, guys. So I'm working in the construction and trucking, and it was tough. I was making like $12 an hour, and I was really trying to get to $13 an hour. And I was asking the boss, can I go up to $13 an hour? And he was like, no, I can't afford it and all that. And I'm like, well, I really need the money. Can I please go to $13 an hour? He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't go to 13. He wouldn't go from 12 to 13. And somehow he found out that I was interested in going to work at Ford. I was under the impression I was going to make $20 an hour at Ford. So of course I'm going for that opportunity, and I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be this great opportunity, and I'm going to be building these vehicles, and it's going to be so cool. And it was a little different than what I thought it was going to be when I got in. But the last week working in that trucking company was the hardest week I've ever worked up until that point. So they knew that I was going to Ford, but I didn't know that they knew. They knew that I took the test. They knew that, in the future I could be going. I didn't know when I would be going, but I know that I took the test. I didn't know if I passed. It was it wasn't a hard test to get into Ford, but it was like a lot of multiplication and division and stuff like that. I don't know how to do multiplication and division anymore. Like, I could have done it in high school, but I can't do multiplication and division. Like, no, that part was hard. So I did what I could on the test and skipped what I couldn't do, and I passed the test. But that last week in that construction company was so hard. It was just fixing tires, hauling trailers. Everything was just extra work. And then I think they were trying to break me. Come on, lady. I think they were trying to actually break me so that, I don't know, they knew I was leaving. They were trying to just break my spirit. It's like that thing. It was like, they know you're going, so let's just use them. They had me going across and fixing. Oh, we just need you to fix all the tires. We just need you to. It was just hard. It's hard to even explain what they put me through, but it was brutal. It was brutal, and I just kept taking whatever they could throw at me. And it was funny because I was getting a little stressed out, but I wouldn't show it. And at the end of this week that they were just grinding on me, I remember the owner said, you know what, you're a hard worker. I'm really impressed with what you did this week, and I'm going to give you that raise. I'm going to give you that raise to 13 an hour that you want. Just give me a couple more weeks. I had a a tough couple weeks financially, so I'm gonna give you the raise, give me a few more weeks. But I do know, he said to me, I do know you've been thinking about going to Ford, and I'd rather you stay. I'm gonna give you the raise you deserve, and you're a hard worker, and we'll see what happens. And I remember hearing that and knowing too that he wasn't giving me the raise right away. He was giving it to me in a few weeks. Like, what? Like, I deserved that little bit of a raise. It wasn't a lot of money. So when he said that to me, my phone rang right when he said that to me. And it was Ford saying, hey, you start tomorrow. And I remember that feeling of, I hope I never have to change another semi-truck tire again. I am so tired of this. I hate it. I hate changing these truck tires. And the reason that I hated it wasn't because it was heavy. And you see the guy that changed truck tires and his back's all bent. He's like walking at a 90-degree angle. It wasn't that I was hurt and I was heavy and all that. It was that I wasn't making no money. I wasn't making no money changing semi-truck tires. And it was just like, I should have been making like minimum $20 an hour, maybe 25, maybe 30. I mean, I'm keeping your fleet rolling, running. Steer tire comes in, I can fix it. Tractor tire comes in, I can fix it. Trailer tire comes in, I can fix it. I'm keeping the whole operation running. So without a guy like me, you're done. And it's not an easy skill. Like, you have to learn. You have to be willing to learn it, and it's heavy. And if you do it wrong, you're just going to be stuck doing the same tire for the whole day. So I wasn't being paid what I was worth at all. Like, not even close. So right then and then, I remember that feeling of, this is the last time I'm ever changing a semi-truck tire ever again. They were like, you're starting tomorrow. Like, right when he told me that, I was like, I just got the call. I start tomorrow. I'm done. And I remember that feeling. So, did I charge the battery? So, I might run out. I might have to adjust my memory again here. But yeah. So, I go into Ford first day, and I remember they hooked me up to the blood pressure monitoring system where they were going to check my blood pressure, and the woman looks at the numbers and her eyeballs light up, and she's like, your blood pressure is 180/90. You're really in the red. You need to just go home and sit down. I'm like, what should I do? Should I go work out? Should I go eat like some salad? She's like, no, you need to go and sit down somewhere. Your blood pressure is so high. You're like 20 years old. Why is your blood pressure so high? So after that, I got aware privy to my blood pressure being real high, so I started working on that. But I go in, we do our orientation, pass the drug test and everything. We go in, I do my orientation. We sit in the room. The guy talks to us. They do a whole history lesson about the Rouge plant and how there was a protest there and some people got killed over the protest, and that whole deal. Talked about that, and that lasted like a week. I remember I slept through half of it. I was a professional at falling asleep without people knowing, so I would sleep while like sitting up, and then I remember the guy was trying to catch me, so he would walk in front of me, but then I'd like open my eyes just right there, right in the moment where he walked in front of me, and then I would go back to sleep when he went back around. So I get through that boring orientation, and put this camera on the charger. Hold on 1 second. I didn't plug this up. It's gonna die. People everywhere. I'm gonna need to plug this up, so I gotta stop. So let me pull over. It's a dead end. What is this? I'm gonna park here. Hopefully nobody's got an issue with me doing that. So fast forward to my first day. On the line, and I remember they line you up, and you're standing in front of the supervisor, and he's like, "Hey, where am I? Wow, what a crazy little maze." So they line you up, and I remember the supervisor picking me out. Hey, we need a guy to put in to put in the keys. So they picked me. I guess they kind of looked at me. I looked fit, and I'm gonna do keys, and I'm gonna do windshield wiper motors. So if you've got a 12 F450, 12 through 16, 12 through 15, 14. So if you got a 12 through 14 F450, then I probably put the keys in it, and I probably put the wiper motor in it and secured the wiper motor to the truck. And that's actually like the truck we're following, like that kind of pickup truck. That's the one I put thousands and thousands of wiper motors, and among other parts, but mostly the wiper motors in that truck. And it wasn't until 2015 when the aluminum body trucks came out, and I was getting into some other jobs and other things. So anyway, so I get, assigned to that job, wiper motors and keys. And I remember thinking, oh, a woman's doing this job, I should have no problems. And she starts training me. Look at all the people in the water. So she starts training me, and I realized how hard it's going to be. I've never done anything like this before, and I'm realizing how hard it's going to be. This woman made it look easy. And it really showed me too that like women can do just as much as men. Maybe not in the same way, like pure physical confrontation. Women aren't going to be as strong as men necessarily, but when it comes to like working on the assembly line or something that requires just because it's painful doesn't mean a woman can't do it, or just because it requires maybe more endurance, a woman could actually do potentially more than a man if there's endurance involved. So she's training me, and it took me 3 whole days to train. And after 3 days, 10 hours a day, 3 days, I still was not ready. But they were like, hey, you're getting 3 days. That's it. After these 3 days, you're on your own. So after the 3 days, they left me by myself, and I started doing it. I'm doing good. But the question is, can I go the distance? That's the real question. So I probably did okay the first half of the day, and then the night, this is a night shift, by the way. So the other half of the night, I'm not used to being awake. I'm not used to the night shift, and I'm getting tired. So it's all fun and games when you're fresh, but when you get tired, things change a little bit. So I started to get tired, and I started to just fall in a hole. And I remember the panic. Oh my goodness, I'm falling behind. I can't keep up. I keep stopping, and there's a siren that goes off. Like as you get close to being in the hole or stopping the line, getting close to stopping the line, the siren goes woo, 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 woo. So I'm just working, trying to keep the siren, and every truck, the siren starts going woo, 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 like you're getting close. Woo, 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 woo. So finally, boom, I'm in the red. I'm stopping the line. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to get fired for sure. And my anxiety goes crazy. I start hyperventilating. I start to not being able to catch my breath. My chest starts hurting. I start getting dizzy, and I'm thinking, oh boy, I'm about to faint. I'm about to pass out. I'm going to fall down on the line. And I remember, my blood pressure was 180/90. I'm not doing well. It looks like I'm doing good because I'm a young 20-year-old stud, but I'm not really doing well. I'm actually probably about to have a little heart attack right now. So I remember thinking, okay, if I go to medical, I'm probably going to get fired. So I'm just going to breathe. I'm just going to slow down. And I remember just pacing myself, and just every truck, woo, 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 woo. I'm right by the siren, but I wasn't stopping. I was just close. So I just kept going, kept fighting through it, and I eventually made it through the night, and I didn't faint. I didn't have a heart attack. My chest was hurting for sure, so I could have been close. I don't know. But I ended up being able to get my blood pressure under control by just like literally eating no salt, and my blood pressure went back under control. But I remember that first night after working at Ford and getting home to my apartment and trying to walk up the stairs and just falling down the stairs, like falling up the stairs then down the stairs. That's how tired I was, guys. I barely made it home. I swerved home. I fell down the stairs. Just brutal lesson learned. Now, that was just the first day. things got better, you know, and I learned the jobs. And now at Ford, if I had to learn a job, I can learn it in maybe a couple hours if it's an easy job, if it's something I'm used to. I can pick stuff up real good. After 10 years of experience, I can pick stuff up now. But before, boy, it comes with experience. Like, working on an assembly line is hard work. It is hard work, and the more experienced you are, the better. There's people right now who are older than me, maybe 50 years old, 40 years old, that could actually outdo me for 100% on the line because they've got way more experience, they're more skilled. I remember this one guy, he schooled me. He was a tag relief and I was on doors, and I was priding myself in being the absolute best at doors because I did it all day every day. And then this guy shows up and just dominates. He's way quicker than me, and I'm up here racing all the people. I'm racing everyone next to me like, hey, you're here. He was from another shift. I'm like, all right, guess we're gonna race, because I had nothing better to do. I'm stuck on the line. So we race, and he beat me every time. I'm like, what? He might have been taller and had like better reach or something, but yeah, that's how it went, guys. That's how it started. And yeah, that's how it all worked out. It was a crazy situation. Learned a lot working at Ford. You know, I did the keys and the windshield wipers first. But yeah, that's how my first day went. I fell up the stairs, guys. I fell walking up the stairs to my apartment after a night of working at Ford. I'm passing people, but guys, I'm not speeding right now. Just saying. But yeah, crazy situation, guys. But that's it, and that's that. This is DS Trucks. My battery's gonna run out of memory, but that's what happened when I started at Ford. That's how I got started. But anyway, my name's Sean. See you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Over and out. Bye.